There'd be a lot of poop in my pants. I've seen a 6-foot alligator go swinging through the air and slam into a tree.
These guys are the scientists of the supernatural, lecturers leaving lessons for inquiring laymen. They are applying the scientific method to a world that baffles science. They are the cryptids of the corn.
But who else has big black wings and red eyes?
Batman.
Oh, Mothman.
Oh yeah, Mothman.
A great white shark was stolen.
Oh, someone stole a shark?
I got stuff for you don't even know about.
She's a witch. She turned me into a newt.
Who knows? Anything could be possible. Anything could be possible.
It's really big abduction vibes.
Holy moly.
It sounds like you were abducted.
And it just stood up. I mean, it just like kept going and going. And she goes, what the?
Hello, and welcome back to Cryptids of the Corn podcast. I am the great and powerful Mr. E.
Yikes. Daisies. I'm J Clone 31.
31.
That's a frightened clone today. Wasn't ready for that.
All right, on this Wednesday, we have a listener submission.
A listener submission.
Yeah.
I was waiting to see
Like
what
every Wednesday.
Yeah.
No, so we'll get to that in a minute. You know, front of house stuff, all that. YouTube, get on our YouTube. The second documentary will be out soonish. We just finished filming it.
That's right.
Yeah, we just did.
Just finished.
Time travel.
Time slips. If you're on our Patreon, you
know
heard
what that
that
is.
episode yesterday.
Exactly. We have other shows on our network.
That's right, we do.
Freaky Fauna Friday is a different show that is 15 to 20 minutes about a freaky animal from the planet. Past, present, future, whatever. I haven't done a future animal yet. But
Not yet, but
maybe I'll sneak one in there.
we'll make our own Freaky Fauna. Future Friday.
There's also DW Conspiracy Shack, where Daniel and Wilbur tackle all weird stuff in the conspiracy realm.
Yeah. Good show.
Good shows. We have a P.O. Box, and that is P.O. Box 75, Ada, Ohio, 45810. And that's ADA. You send us stickers for the new bus.
That's right. And stickers, anything for the new bus, really, any art you want us to have or think we'd enjoy. A nice fancy letter that if you
I do enjoy the letters.
If you feel so inclined to write, like we had just gotten one this weekend.
I got to grab it. Where'd I put it?
Is it under that? Yeah, I don't know. You just read it to me this morning, so hopefully. Oh, there it is. Yeah, a nice letter we got.
Ryan Lewis.
Yes.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan. Big thank you. Sent us a book and just a nice handwritten letter.
Yes.
Warmed our hearts.
It does. And I will be reading the book at Crypticon, which was just this past weekend.
Woohoo!
Which was so much fun. We were so happy we've seen all you guys. We don't know who we've seen yet because it hasn't happened for us yet, but it happened for you guys.
That's right.
Merch. We have the merch website, and that's in the link below. The new winter t-shirts will be out soon-ish.
Winter only.
Winter only.
Limited run.
Limited run. Anything else for that?
No, I mean, check out our website if you want to support us and you want some cool merch to show off to your friends.
Yep.
That's the best place to get it.
It is. All right. New Patreon. Courtney Morris. Welcome.
Welcome to the Corn Cult, Courtney Morris. We're pleased to have you join.
Chris Reynolds.
Chris Reynolds, another great addition to the Corn Cult.
Brian Corbin.
Brian Corbin. Welcome, Brian.
Just your announcements were making me laugh. And
well, you know, the bigger the cult, the greater its power. And yes, let the power grow and run through you.
Speaking of which, the January is when the new Patreon t-shirts go out. You get a code and you buy it on the store. Basically, you just got to pay your shipping for the Patreon t-shirts. You just look at our levels of Patreon. But yeah, it's the first one that's part of the Corn Cult.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
I'm really excited for it.
All right.
Are you excited for it?
Oh, heck yeah, I am. Heck yeah.
Are you?
Is that the new art that we just seen?
Yes.
That's
this morning.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Definitely looking forward to those runs. Can't wait to show off my t-shirts at the the local bowling alleys, you know.
I have one review to read,
Ooh, okay.
and I'm going to read it carefully
All right.
because it's from J012,
Uh-oh.
and they are supporting us extremely,
Okay.
but it just was funny.
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay. So the title is These Critics Can Shove It.
All right.
Yes. First off, you have an absolutely amazing show. The variety and entertainment value alone is blowing anything out of the Cryptid podcast area out of the water. However, I've seen several reviews. I'm going to skip the next couple lines.
Okay.
He's just seen several reviews that maybe have been a little negative,
Oh, sure. Okay.
and he's just saying that he said, just keep doing what you're doing.
He disagrees.
Make it about all the things and keep being amazing. FYI, I would like to purchase a J clone to help me around the house. What is the protocol to acquire one? I'll send you an email.
Yep, there you go. Man, I need some more too.
But no, J012, thank you. Is this one of your clones?
I was just about to say that. So my clone needs a clone now.
012.
Must be a lazy one.
All right, you ready to get into the Wednesday stuff?
Yeah, what are we going to talk about today?
Agent K.
Agent K. What's Agent K?
She submitted some stuff.
Oh, that's the name of... Okay.
So she sent us a nice email. There's 3 stories here. None of them are too long. She's a loyal listener, Agent K. I think it's a she, if I remember right, because I took her name from everything,
Okay.
and I think I remember right. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But I took a little bit of the email, too, before the stories, because I wanted to read it, because it was nice. So I've been a listener for a bit now. I love the show. Also, Freaky Fauna is the best.
There we go. Shameless or shame... I don't know.
Shameless plug.
Plug for Freaky Fauna Friday. Every Friday.
She also said, also, the boys over at DW Conspiracy Shack do a pretty good job as well.
They're not too bad.
Yeah.
They're fun to be around.
Birds aren't real.
That's what they say.
These
Or one of them.
These are the paranormal encounters I've had, and they stick out in my mind. So let's go with story 1.
Okay.
I worked at a ducky daycare in Lansing, Michigan after I graduated in 2010. There have been talks about ghosts around the building. It used to be a rehab center before the current owners bought it, and there were rumors of ODs,
Oh, okay.
which I can see, very tragic deaths. You know, addiction is a big problem here in the U.S. right now.
Oh, horrible, especially in the Midwest. Well, everywhere. From coast to coast.
So, so the way the daycare was set up, they had a basement and an upstairs, which was the ground level. The main play floor was downstairs on a large open floor in the room next to the stairs, where we had the dog crates for nap time. It's been there for about a year and a half, and I had my experience. I was an opener. I was there at 6 a.m. It was February, so it was pitch black outside. One of our customers had an early drop-off, so he had brought in an Irish Terrier, Bucky, in at 6:15 a.m. I took him down and changed his collar off, and went to finish up setting the room when he was in the crate. Where the crates were. He was on the floor playing by himself. I heard him start barking. I heard him start barking, and I heard someone come down the stairs.
Ooh.
That's weird. 6:15 in the morning.
Yeah.
Dogs barking.
And someone coming
Down the
down
stairs.
the stairs.
I heard someone say, "Well, aren't you a pretty dog?"
Okay.
In what I thought was a female groomer's voice. So I popped my head out to say hi to Chelsea, the groomer. But there was no one there. I ran up the stairs and looked into the parking lot also to see if anybody was there and was messing with me, and there was not a soul in sight. Bucky was still losing his mind downstairs. So I went back downstairs to calm him down. I said to the empty room, "Please don't scare me like that," and went on my way. Nothing further has happened to me to the day. Whenever I heard after that, I just talked to whatever it was there, and it seemed to respect that I was doing my job and I wasn't terrified of it. That's that first story.
Interesting, yeah.
Now, it's not the first, that's not the first time we've heard, these ghost voices and stuff like that.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And then ask him to stop. Now, it depends on what your views are, because there's a lot of this with Dominion. Like, if you put your Dominion over these spirits,
Yeah.
a lot of times they have to listen to you. So there's that stuff, or that you could take it as the spirit being polite.
Right, yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Anything to add for that first story?
No, that's pretty cool. Was it in a old groomers. She said there was a.
No, it was an active groomers. It was an old rehab clinic.
Yeah, the old rehab turned into a dog groomer. Okay. So, yeah, so she was expecting to see the groomer there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then nobody.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Story number 2.
Yeah.
We had ghost, like plural. I just can't read very well. That lived in our house. We bought our home in 2014. It was a manufactured home that was built in 2000. We don't know anyone who owned the house before us. It was built on 2 acres in a swamp, marshy area along the coast. One of the ghosts is what I'm thinking was to be a young boy. The first time I saw him in our bathroom, I was taking a shower and saw somebody through the frosted glass walking past the shower.
Oh, no way. No.
I got a bad story to tell you here in a minute.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
I thought it was my husband messing around, but I realized it was shorter, maybe 5'2", and he is 5'10". And I was seeing was probably 5 foot or a little shorter. I remembered the skin color of someone having their shirt off, thin arms, and short light-colored hair. I could just make out it moving from the other side of the bathroom to from one side to the other. I yelled for my husband. I was a little panicky, thinking somebody was in our house. He came rushing in, and I told him what I had saw, and he said, "Nope, no one's here." He stayed in the room while I finished the shower, and the rest of the day was completely normal. We have had a lot of little experiences ranging from lights flickering in our dining room, no matter what repairs we did to the light bulbs. Sometimes I ask it to stop flickering and the lights will stop, or other times it'll flicker more.
Oh, okay. There's that example you were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm. My husband sees shadows going in and out of our kitchen from time to time. We also have shadow people in our woods around our house, who my husband sees often. Our neighbors have also reported seeing them as well. That's not good.
No.
Just the run-of-the-mill, everyday haunting, LOL.
Man, what an interesting area.
There's a little bit more to this one.
Okay.
That's all my ghostly stuff. This is my only possible cryptid encounter also. So a backstory to where and how I grew up. I grew up exploring the woods next to the river in the land I couldn't ask for. I spent a lot of time outside. I even felt a kinship with the woods and river specifically. I don't feel it in the ocean for some reason. Yeah, humans aren't supposed to. The only way I can expect or explain it is a deep longing to be in the woods. I never felt uncomfortable or threatened, just safe and whole. I have heard everything from foxes fighting, barred owls mating, and next story I will tell you is perplexing me to this day. So before we do that, seeing all these shadow people in the woods.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No, I don't think so. But I wonder what it could be, though. If it's the woods itself, like, spirit, like elementals, or if it's really like ghostly beings.
And we get a lot of that stuff from Michigan. We got our scary internet stories. That thing was in Michigan. Mm-hmm. That big, I don't know, kind of like fuzzy Wendigo-esque monster.
Yeah. No.
And I do wonder if it's just the forest itself.
Yeah.
Is alive in ways that we just don't understand yet.
Right, yeah.
That's what we're witnessing. Or demons. That's always the thing. I don't like that everybody's seeing them. That's really weird for shadow people.
Yeah.
Normally one or maybe 2 people are experiencing them at a time. Maybe 2. Like it's very rare to think of 2 people seeing a shadow person at once.
And then your neighbors are like,
everybody's like, yeah, there's weird black sticky things running around back there.
And then, but the weirdest part too is seeing that thing outside of her shower and seeing like it did have like a skin tone. It wasn't just a shadow.
Right.
That's even like, oh gosh, what is this thing?
Yeah. I don't know about. I think I would be burning the house down.
I was gonna say, were you gonna do her third part, or you're gonna share that story?
Well, 2 things. Her saying she felt a kinship to the rivers and the woods.
Yeah,
I can speak to that. It's a weird feeling that I can't explain. When I'm in the river or in the water, it's different.
Yeah.
But I've always been in the water. You can ask. I mean, my wife hates it, but like that's why I wear Crocs everywhere. It's because I will end up in the water.
Yeah, I've witnessed it.
Yeah, I'll walk in the parking lot and there's a river, and I'm in the river.
Yep,
flipping over stones and sitting in it, and
just happens.
Yeah, but the ocean is different. Besides, like the Pacific Islander people,
Yeah.
Like I don't think humans are supposed to feel that connection with the ocean for the most part.
Yeah,
because it's not our domain.
Right. I think like you just said, it's where you're from too.
Yeah.
It plays a big
There
role
are
in that.
ocean people, like the
Yeah.
Pacific Islanders specifically are the best.
And I'm sure there's
example.
there's woods and forest people. I'm sure there's mountain, there's mountain people, there's swamp people, there's everything. I think I'm definitely the woods and forest guy too.
So, I'll tell you this story. So I was showering yesterday,
Oh no.
recording this, and a lot of times, so like we have the baby's 5 months old.
Yeah.
So when we bathe him or shower, a lot of times we just shower with him because it's just easier.
Right. Yeah.
And because so Emily will bring him in like when I'm showering me finish cleaning him. So I didn't hear her come in yesterday.
Oh no.
And she's holding him up in the air looking over the shower curtain.
Yeah.
And I'm washing my head.
Right. So your eyes are closed.
My eyes are closed. I'm scrubbing my head. I don't hear anything. Normally I hear the door open and close. Yeah. And I look up and just his face. And it smiled at me. And I don't have my glasses on. I got soap in my eyes. And I scream.
Yeah.
And he just starts bawling. And Emily's like, "Why'd you scream at him?" It's like, I didn't know he was there.
Yeah, it's a tiny head, like with eyes
7 foot tall.
Yeah.
Looking over.
I can see.
You know what's really scary? It's scarier than a big thing with a big head that's looking at you.
Big thing with a tiny
head.
Yeah, even scarier. Oh, it's so funny. It just reminds me of this video. I just seen it, I think yesterday too, of this woman was sitting on her couch, and there was her cat was sitting on the arm of the couch, and I guess it was like her son or someone was hiding on the edge of the couch behind the cat under a blanket, and just goes like, what do you say? Like, "Hey, mom. But he was doing it in a high pitched voice, and she looked and thought it was the cat saying it, and she screamed bloody murder, and the cat jumped up like off the couch and went flying into the next room. But she screams like it scared the crap out of her. Then the kid pops up, and she's like, "Why would you do that to me?" So funny.
All right, this is the next one. Is the big one. You ready?
All right, yep, the cryptid witness, I guess. Right?
No, that last one was the only cryptid one.
Oh, the shadows in the forest?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that was tied into this next one, but all right.
All right, so this one involves a very famous place. My husband and I lived in North Carolina. He was a Marine, and we were stationed at Camp Lejeune.
What's that?
You don't know all the Camp Lejeune commercials?
No.
They're giant lawsuit involving Camp Lejeune.
Not that I know of.
Payouts. Oren and Jenny are also remember Oren lived right across from Camp Lejeune?
Oh, that's where, okay, it's that one.
It's that weird.
Okay.
It's that place.
Okay.
And also, we've had a lot of people on from the area of Camp Lejeune.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird.
Okay. Now I know.
Camp Lejeune has a lot of weird stuff
I
connected
know
to
exactly what you're talking about.
Like she said, well, you're from mid-Michigan. So we went back home for the spring of 2017, I'm sorry. We stay in my mom's pop-up out camper, and it was warm when we were visiting. She lives on the outer edge part of my grandparents' 30-acre property. We had both our dogs and our cat with us. He has a 30-pound Shar-Pei. I'm proud of myself for reading that word correctly. A 50-pound Jack Russell Dachshund mix. So it started on the third day we were there. It was a late night, maybe 1 or 2 a.m. I was awoken by a noise I cannot accurately recreate. It was like, ooh, wee, but long and low. Let me try it again. Ooh, wee.
Perfect.
Actually, I just triggered my own memory. Anyways, it sounded like it was directly above us, though. At first, I thought it may have been an owl, but it wasn't like any other owl I've ever heard. I lived in the woods my entire life. I know all the normal noises. So I lay there and listened. The dogs weren't going off, and they were off and they went off for everything. My Shar-Pei is the most overly protective dog. She is loud and in charge and lets everybody know what she thinks. She went off on a coyote howl the first night we were there. The small guy goes off on everything, trains, rabbits, a twig snap. He just barks. But nothing from them. I wanted to wake my husband up, but something told me if I moved, it would stop immediately. I remember feeling fuzzy, like after you drank 1 or 2, and some kind of almost tipsy and happy. But my hair felt like it was standing on end. I didn't feel scared, just a little uneasy. It made the noise 3 more times, and then I kept thinking I was going to wake him up. He grew up in the woods also like 10 minutes away from me. So he would know what it is. So I moved my arm just the slightest bit to wake him up. He looked over at me. I put my finger on my lips and made the face to keep quiet and listen. And he laid his head back down. I didn't hear another call from whatever was making the noise. We also never heard anything leave through the woods or even the gravel drive. He fell back asleep, and I lay there for a while and listened, but eventually did fall asleep. The morning I told my mother about it. Both laughed at my rendition of the noise, but neither could give me an explanation. So I turned on YouTube because a lot like Mr. E, I searched for a biological reason first. I knew owls fly silently, so I started to look at the owls, but no owl call resembles the noise. Also, no nocturnal bird. I was going to say, like, there's night jars and all kinds of weird stuff.
Okay.
Or animals sounded like anywhere close to what I had heard. So whatever it was, the one night I thought. So we went on with our trip, visiting our family, etc. So before I continue, you have any questions so far? Any thoughts?
As to what it could have been?
Mm-hmm.
It is pretty interesting. She knew, like, she had that inclination if she moved, it was going to stop. And sure enough, it did. Like a gut feeling. That's kind of cool.
But the feeling it caused her was very weird.
Yeah.
Uneasy, but fuzzy.
Fuzzy feeling,
like tipsy, but happy. It's weird. I don't like that.
Yeah.
It's very predatory.
Is it?
Yeah. There's a lot, especially with the Fae. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
The Fae kind of make you feel happy and drunk, so you don't ask a lot of questions.
Not
good.
I get you.
The next night, when I woke by some noise again, in the middle of the night, this time my cat was wrapped up around my head, asleep. I don't know what it is with cats. Wanting to sleep on your face.
That's just what they do.
I never liked cats. I still never like.
I don't mind them. I like them.
I think it's because we grew up next to a cat lady that killed my birds.
Or it could be that. Maybe that's why. That's a good reason, but
my sister had a Siamese that would break into my room and stare at me at the foot of the bed all
Yeah.
night. I hated that cat.
Why did it stare? Why, I mean, what did it do? Just stare?
Yeah, but it would open the door
Yeah.
and it'd sit at the foot of your bed and just watch you sleep.
It just wanted to be by Mr. E.
Yeah.
It's a good cat.
Anyways, again, it sounded like it was above us, but the same haunting. Ooh. Wee. Sorry, she wrote it again like that, so I had to do it.
Yeah.
Long and low. No reaction from the cat, the dogs, or my husband. Everyone fast asleep, and again, I had a feeling of, if I move, it'll stop. So I listened. I remember feeling so awake and alert, and just remaining frozen. I could move and wake Ryan. That's not his name. I don't even know why I said that name. But I wanted to I wanted to imprint the noise in my head so I could figure out what it was. I listened again very intensely. He did it 3 more times, and I realized I could almost touch my husband's foot, so I nudged him. And again, he woke up and looked at me, and this time he knew what I was trying to get him to do, so he froze. Again, it stopped completely. It was so frustrating. The first night, I thought maybe it could have just been a dream because of the fuzzy feeling.
Yeah.
But this night, I needed to know what it was, so I was wide awake. So we both laid there for a while and listened, and nothing happened again. The cat woke up. I petted her, and we all went back to sleep. Woke up in the morning and told my mother again, and we Googled and YouTubed, and nothing. The third night, it was the last night, and I stayed up. My husband went to sleep, and I lay there with my phone, waiting to hit record. But nothing, no sound, nothing out of the ordinary, and I finally fell asleep about 4 a.m. I was annoyed. I still don't know what it was. I know that whatever the sound was, it was like it was native to my mother's woods. I spent many nights laying there with my window open, listening to the woods. I'd never heard anything like that. And I've never heard anything that made me feel fuzzy like that. I searched for a logical explanation, maybe an owl with the deformed vocal cords, but nor I made a sound. It's the second night when I woke up. So I can't figure out how it would have known and why it stopped. Would love your thoughts and ideas. So I'm going to finish. I'll read the rest of her email before I talk about that.
Okay.
So that's it. I appreciate you reading this lengthy email. It's not a lengthy email. But like I said, I've been thinking about this for months. I hope you guys have a good day or having a good day, depending on when you get around to reading my mega email. Your loyal listener, Agent K. One last little note.
Okay.
You read one of my reviews and made a joke, and I liked it a lot. LOL.
Oh, good. I don't remember. But Agent K, thank you for your submission, and
Yes.
I'm glad we could bring a little cheer and laughter into your life at that moment when we read your review. That's nice to hear.
So, yeah, the sound. I think I know what the sound is.
Oh.
Now, yeah, I did a very poor job.
Does that sound good?
So there's a couple explanations we can go with, and I'll pause this here in a minute so I can pull up the sound.
Ooh,
And I'll
okay.
actually play the sound for you, maybe. And Agent K, you can send another email and say whether you thought it was maybe the sound or not. Here's the fuzzy. So, what are your thoughts before I dive into it?
I mean, it sounds like some sort of like weird entity being, not entity, but creature being that was honed in on her, and then it was aware. I don't know. Somehow it was aware when he was awake, or when she woke him, or when she was ready to record it. So it didn't do it again. I don't know.
So, I liked where her mind went with birds.
Yeah.
Because I told you that I do this with my wife all the time, where I'll play a random animal sound and
Right.
be like, can you guess what this animal is? So we just did the kiwi, which I don't think this was a kiwi. I'm just saying that we did a kiwi and it sounds like a big cat
Yeah.
and it's a little bird. So the owl thing is a good idea. We had a listener submit one last year that was an owl from Texas.
Yeah, I remember that.
Wide-mouthed owl,
Yeah.
which is a little tiny species of owl that even where people live with them, like they're a city species
Yeah.
and people don't know they exist. And they just make the worst noises. And they're terrifying. And you don't realize that the bird's actually the size of like a baseball.
Yeah.
It can't do anything to you, but it sounds like a monster. The fuzzy feeling, though, that kind of gives me infrasound vibes.
You're right. Yeah.
And here's the thing is, I don't think it was above her. I think it may have been actually far off, and it may have been resonating against the pop-up camper.
Ooh. Okay.
So the pop-up camper, the walls are fabric, but the roof is on a hydraulic,
Right.
know,
Little
jack.
lift. Yeah.
And I think maybe that it was catching it like one of those speakers. You ever seen those speakers that you touch them into something and the whole thing magnifies the sound?
Yes. Just resonates with it.
I think that may have been happening here.
Hmm.
I think the sound may have been really far off.
And it just,
That's why it sounded like it was above us, because it became a speaker.
I could see that.
I'm going to pause the recording while I pull this up.
Okay. Let's.
But I think I know what sound she heard.
Ooh, I'm excited.
All right, we're back. I know no time for you guys, but I have two options. Now, the first one is an animal that I've gotten in arguments with this online several times. There's a problem with these animals breeding. They're not native to Michigan, but breeding in Michigan. So she was in Michigan, and she was actually near where the population of these guys is spreading.
Was she in Michigan, or is this when she visited North Carolina? She heard the
she
noise?
lived in North Carolina at the time. She was visiting her mom in Michigan, the house she grew up in.
Oh, okay. I had it backwards then.
Yeah. So don't say what this animal is. I know you can read it.
Right.
Not the little bird calls in the back, but the deep sound, deep and low. I'll play some more. So that's one option.
You know what that reminds me of?
Oh.
You ever get that when you and you really stretch it out and just get like do a real low I always did that as a kid, but if you can get it down to, you can literally feel like you're plucking each vocal string. Mm-hmm. That's what
I don't know. It's weird, isn't it?
It is weird, yeah.
That's an emu.
That is an emu.
And they make all kinds of other noises. That's just the first little thing I would find that was a good example of how deep and low they can be.
All right, yeah.
Emu are breeding in Michigan, and I will fight anybody on that.
Just don't fight me.
Don't challenge me.
All right.
No,
They're breeding. I swear they're doing it.
So that's kind of this first one, as it could be an emu.
Okay.
I don't know. That's just one of my thoughts that popped up just because of where the story took place and everything. Being a non-native piece of wildlife
Yeah.
that is becoming a problem in some areas of Michigan.
Yeah.
That I can't wait to where I can just find one in the wild and take one home.
Yeah, I know. That's like your dream day.
This next one, let's listen to it.
Okay.
And I'll tell everybody what it is.
Oh, I know what that is.
Now I have an amplified and filtered version. That was the first recorded version. I'll play the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what this is. You've heard it before.
Yeah, it's the tornado siren that goes off in town. Tornado siren. Yeah, no, I'm just joking.
That is the famous Ohio Howl, recorded by Matt Moneymaker in 1994.
I wonder if it is similar to what she heard.
So this has been recorded dozens of times now.
Yep.
And all over Ohio, Michigan, Indiana specifically, but even out west, it's been heard a few times. It's low. What's it kind of sound like it's saying?
What's it sound like it's saying?
Oh. Like she said, her first one was, oh.
Yeah.
And then we.
Yeah.
And it, just these loud, long, deep bellows.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And that definitely could, Bigfoot's often associated with infrasound, and we don't know any of that for a fact, but.
And like you said, if it resonated with their the camper just right, it really could have made a certain noise. It sounded like it was right in there with them.
And the weird thing is the Ohio Howl's, like, every time it's recorded, it's only 3 or 4 times.
And then that's it.
And that's it. So every time she experienced it, 3 or 4 times,
And
by
that's
the time
it.
she woke up her husband,
Yeah.
it was over.
Is already done with.
And so I don't know if it was that I don't think it sensed her per se. I think it was just such a short thing.
Yeah.
So it depends on who you want to believe, and there's no such thing as a Bigfoot expert. There's people that have pretty informed opinions. A lot of people think this is a locator, to where they do this they do this once in all 4 directions, and they wait for a response to kind of figure out where everybody's at.
Yeah.
And the response could be infrasoundal, to where it's out of our hearing range.
Couldn't even hear it. Yeah.
So this bellow is on our hearing range. The response could be outside of our hearing range.
That makes sense.
So that they're going, north, east, whatever, the 4 directions.
Right.
It's not the cardinal directions per se, but wherever they're standing,
Yeah.
they just look this way, look that way. And so I kind of wonder if that's what she experienced.
That would be pretty awesome if she did.
Yeah, but it can be very scary, and it can be.
It could be, yeah. But I mean, obviously she's fine and well, alive and well, to send us the email and tell us about it. So it's pretty. If that's what it was, I mean, what a wild experience. That's awesome. That is awesome.
But Agent K,
Yeah.
listen to these and tell us, if either of these are similar or not.
Right.
If they're not similar, I'll do some more research and see what I can find.
Right. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of weird. Like Michigan has a couple farms that have things like water buffalo.
Oh wow.
Actually, this is in Lansing or near Lansing. There are 3 zoos not too far from there
They have water buffalo.
that have all kinds of weird animals. There's 2 more small scale private zoos, which generally have more problems with animals not staying in cages.
Is Michigan one of those states that has
You
low
can
lax?
own everything.
Okay, I thought so. Yeah.
Michigan. So Ohio's the too strict, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Michigan's too
Michigan's
loose. It's
way
like
too loose.
Oklahoma.
Yeah. And Oklahoma is weird on mammals. Indiana's probably is one that has really bad laws too.
Really?
Yeah.
All around us, huh?
No, because like West Virginia, like oxalots aren't allowed in West Virginia.
Oh, really?
Actually-
Oxalotls?
I think that just changed recently.
Wow.
When I used to breed oxalotls.
Yeah, you couldn't.
Because they're endangered.
yeah,
They're red listed
right.
on the so no red listed species, even though they're hundreds of thousands, millions of them in captivity.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's 30 left in the wild.
Yeah, right. Right.
So nobody's catching. It's easier to go buy an axolotl than go and catch one.
right. Yeah.
But that's kind of the thing. So it's just kind of a blanket law.
Okay.
It's more for other species protection.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they just are red listed. So it was this weird thing. So they just got an exemption, and I think Hawaii finally got their exemption for axolotls.
Nice.
So it's just like there's weird laws.
Right.
No, I don't know. I could definitely see it being, there's the howls, which I do believe is probably Sasquatch, whatever Sasquatch is. Because it's definitely organic.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And if you watch like the audio markers and stuff like that, it has a lot of organic tendencies.
I think Thinker Thunker does a lot
really
of good work.
He does a
with
lot of really good work
with the audio stuff. What do you call it? The audio like fingerprint or something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Very, very organic in nature.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So I don't know. What do you thought? What do you thought?
What do you thought on this?
What do you thought on this?
No, it would have been cool. Sorry, my nose is stuffy. It's that time of year. If she was able to capture on audio recording, that would have been awesome. But
I don't even think she would have been able to on her phone.
Yeah, like we heard on whose show was that on? Was that on Uncomfortable? Talking about he heard clear as day during a recording. Sound that he heard in his headphones. Then when they played it back on the audio, there was nothing.
I think that was on Eric's show.
Yeah, I think so. There was no audio at all.
And I think it's because of its range.
Right, exactly.
It's just not recording well.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause I've heard some people, and they've come up to us at conferences, and they play their Bigfoot sounds that they record on their phone. And it's nothing against them. They just sound awful.
Yeah.
And I think it's more that the range that the phone's recording in
exactly.
versus the range that the
frequency it's
making.
projecting it out in.
It's not, you're not going to, it's like taking a picture of the moon. It's like with your phone.
Yeah.
It never looks as good as when you see it
in person.
Yeah. And same with the recording. It's never as good as you heard it.
Right. You need other, I don't know, mediums to.
You need professional recording equipment.
Right. Exactly.
Up, big frequencies. So why Matt's is so impressive is because he was.
Right.
He had, a very expensive gear. And that's the recording he got with the very expensive gear.
Right. Exactly.
Let alone, somebody, if you're standing out there with your phone, you would have got nothing. The dogs.
It's hard to understand that, but it makes sense. A lot of sense.
Yeah. So I don't know what you heard, but it's very interesting to me.
Oh yeah. 100%.
As far as the stick people, burn the woods down.
The people outside, yeah.
The shadow people.
And the one standing outside your shower. That's like one of the oldest, maybe not oldest, but like modern day, like fears. I think almost.
Well, because it's your most vulnerable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, especially. There's like that. Well, there's like a meme that's been going around, like when someone's washing their hair in the shower, and like the whole time they're washing themselves, eyes open, they're thinking like happy like thoughts, and then the moment you close your eyes,
the
it's like
outside.
Yeah, it's like hurry up, get this done, hurry up, so that you don't get murdered.
I always shower with my front facing the curtain,
just in case.
And it's because I don't know. It's from when I was a little kid and all that weird stuff happened.
Right.
So it's like even now today. So like when the baby scared me, I'm facing the curtain.
So when your eyes open,
yeah,
there he was.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna mute you for a second. I don't know what you're doing. You got stuffy out of nowhere.
I did. Got very stuffy out of nowhere.
Well, Agent K, thank you for your submission. Yeah. Send us an email. Let us know what you thought about those sounds. If none of those are, I'll go through and I'll compile. Especially, I'll look into that area and see what wildlife is there. I'd like
a follow-up response to.
Yeah. And she's a loyal listener. So I'm sure we'll get one.
So thank you so much.
Yes. I have been the great and powerful Mr. E.
And I've been J Clone 31, I think.
Yeah. We'll catch you next week with more. Bye. Thank you for listening to Cryptids of the Corn podcast.
Please share with a friend you think would like us. It's the best way to help our show grow.
Leave a comment, rate us, a 5-star review, and remember, there is always extra content on Patreon/CryptidsOfTheCorn.com.
And don't forget, stay magical.